Hi guys, welcome back to a Minimum Wagers Kitchen. I'm Gigi and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some very easy, delicious, savory and sweet stuffed dates. Yum! Guys, these are a great treat for any time. Plus they're super easy to make, they're different and fancy and super shareable as well, especially for summertime, so why not? So for today's options, I'm going to be making you 3 different kinds of stuffed dates. I'm going to be making 2 savory options and a sweet option as well. So for that first stuffed date, that's going to be the first savory option. That one's going to be with goat cheese, prosciutto, and walnuts. That one is a very tasty one. I love making that one. Alright you guys, and for our second option, and that's going to be our second savory option, which is going to be a vegetarian one. That's going to be with feta, sauteed onions, and pistachios. Oh my gosh, this one is also very tasty, so I cannot wait to taste this with you, and I am so excited to share this one with you as well. And for our third and sweet option, that's going to be a stuffed date with ricotta cheese, honey, and pecans. This one is also very good. By the way, you guys, all of these are so good to take with you if you're going to like a little get-together or a party. They hold pretty well for a couple hours as well. And I do recommend to refrigerate these, of course, because they do have cheese. Alright, you guys, well, I'm excited to show you how to make these recipes. They're so incredibly easy. So let's go ahead and get started with the recipes, shall we? Yay! Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with this first recipe. So for our first recipe, that's going to be our stuffed dates with the goat cheese, prosciutto, and chopped walnuts. So for the ingredients today, that's going to be a 1/4 cup of just regular goat cheese, about 3 slices or so of thinly sliced prosciutto, and about a handful of chopped walnuts. And I went ahead and put aside 6 walnut pieces about that size. That way we can go ahead and top those on top of our delicious stuffed dates. Alright guys, you know me, I like simple recipes. Anything that I can whip up pretty quickly is always a bonus, and it's always a bonus for you too, so that way we both have extra time in our lives. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with our medjool dates. So the medjool dates I have here, and let me grab the box for that. I went ahead and just picked these up at my local grocery store. They were on sale, so that was a bonus because I saved about two and a half bucks on this, which is pretty good. So it makes it way less expensive for all of these. And I actually had enough dates in here to make all the recipes for today too, so even double bonus. So that's what you're looking for, is the medjool dates. Alright guys, so for these, they do have the pit still in, and so I'm going to show you real quick how to do this. Super easy. All you need is a small paring knife, and all you have to do is just cut the top right here, just like that, just halfway. You're going to go ahead and open this up and pull out the pit. And that's it. And I'll show you real quick here too what it looks like. Now, the other thing too is, if you do have this little guy right here, go ahead and pop him off. That was just part of the stem there. I'll go ahead and show you another one. So we'll go ahead and cut it just halfway through, and go ahead and open that up, and pull out the pit. And there you go. Alright, so I'll go ahead and finish these, and then I will show you how to put these together. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to show you what these look like, and these are so good, I cannot wait to taste them. So I'll be back in just a moment. Alright guys, let's go ahead and put this yummy, tasty, and delicious stuffed date together. So I went ahead and cut all of these, and I went ahead and took the pit out, so these are all done. I'm going to show you a couple of these for each recipe, so that way you know how to make these. Also too, you're not limited on what you can stuff these with, so if you do get creative and you do come up with something really yummy, definitely leave me a comment. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with our stuffed date, and what I'm going to do is just open it up like that. And for goat cheese, I'm just going to go ahead and soften this just a little bit. Now this is right out of the refrigerator. You definitely want to keep this cold, of course. And what I'm going to do is, with that 1/4 cup, basically going to divide that into 6 portions. Best thing to do too is a smaller spoon, so let me go ahead and grab a espresso spoon and I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed a teaspoon or a little espresso spoon here. This is going to make your life so much easier. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is grab a little slice of the prosciutto. And for the prosciutto, you really want this pretty darn thin, as you can see here. And that's, I mean, you can see right through it. And that's because we're really not going to like stuff the whole thing completely with prosciutto. So that's why I say 3 slices and then divvied up into about 6 portions. You might have a little left over depending on the size of the prosciutto piece that it's being sliced off. But what you're going to do is just line the sides with a little bit of the prosciutto. And make sure you stuff that right on too. Alright, so now that is done with the prosciutto right there, as you can see. So the next step is going to be our delicious goat cheese. And all I'm going to do is let the spoon do the work. And you can clean off the side there. And if you really want to too, you can get super fancy and get a piping bag and put a little star tip or something. You can actually pipe that on there too, by the way. So, but we are going to be adding some walnuts here now. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab our walnut pieces, and what I'm going to do is really just kind of overstuff this with the walnut. All right, so here we go. I mean, that's really easy. Like a little hors d'oeuvre. All right, so I went ahead and put aside 6 pieces, bigger pieces here, as you can see, of the walnut. And if you do have room for it, go ahead and squish that down, and voila, that's it. So that one is done. So let me go ahead and do the rest, and I will show you what they look like. See you in just a moment. All right, you guys, so these are done. So our stuffed dates with our goat cheese, our prosciutto, and our walnuts are done. And I'll show you here. Whoa, don't want them to slide off. Let me go ahead and just pick one up and show you real quick. I don't know why, but it looks like some very, very interesting sushi-like. Yeah, let me show you real quick here. And that way you can, don't mind the walnut piece falling off. That way you can kind of see what it looks like. Well, those were easy to make, so let's go ahead and make our next ones. For our next ones, I'll go ahead and show you how to saute the onions as well for our delicious feta, sauteed onion, and pistachio stuffed dates. Alright, you guys, let me go ahead and get all the ingredients ready, and I will see you in just a moment. See you in a moment. Alright, you guys, so round 2 for our savory date options. So for this one, it's going to be 6 of the medjool dates, and we're going to do the same exact thing as before. Just go ahead and cut them halfway open, and go ahead and take that pit out, and you are ready to go. For the next ingredient, that's going to be a 1/4 cup of feta cheese, and if you do have some big chunks, just go ahead and use a spoon and break them up. For the next ingredient, this is going to be very specific for our 6 medjool dates here. So that's going to be 18 pistachios, and we're going to be adding 2 for each date. And for our sauteed onions today, that's going to be a 1/4 cup of very finely chopped red onion. Today I'm also going to be using 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a tablespoon of just regular balsamic vinegar. And for the last ingredient, that's going to be salt and pepper to taste. Alright guys, so first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is turn on my stovetop here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on to medium-high. The reason is because we are using olive oil for this, and I want to make sure we don't get burn off. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is grab a spatula or something that you can use to mix in your pan, and I'm going to go ahead and dip my spatula just a little bit in the olive oil part here, and put a little olive oil down on the pan here. And as I'm heating it up, I'll know when it's ready because that olive oil will just start sliding very quickly. And that's when you know it's time to saute some onions. And another trick you can use is just grab a piece of onion, throw it in there, and when it starts sizzling, you're ready to go. And while I wait for that piece of onion to start sizzling, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is out, because yay! Alright, I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but that piece of onion is sizzling now. So let's go ahead and add our onion first. Whoop! Not all over the counter or the floor. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this down a little bit more. And by the way, I'm using a non-stick pan, so if you aren't using a non-stick pan, add just a little dot of oil on there so it doesn't stick. Alright, so the next step is going to be adding our balsamic and olive oil. And now we saute. Smells really good. Alright guys, so I have this at about a medium heat now, and I did turn it down just a little bit because I don't want it to burn. So really what I'm trying to do is make sure that our onions, or I guess red onions, are see-through here. And that's going to take about 5 to 8 minutes or so. Oh, let me not forget to add the salt and pepper to taste as well here. And because now I have some salt on me, for good luck. Alright you guys, I'm going to go ahead and cook these through, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what they look like in just a few moments. See you in a moment. Wow, these are starting to smell really good. So here's the trick. Towards the end of the sauteing process here for our onions, you're going to start smelling really good smells, and there'll be just a little tiny bit of caramelization with those onions. These are almost see-through, and I'm not burning them at all, but I am going to show you in just a second here. And by the way, do make sure you kind of keep an eye on these, keep stirring them so that they don't burn. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. Alright guys, so let me show you what this should look like. There you go. Not burned, just slightly brown around the edges. And then of course you notice that they're see-through now. So, and with that balsamic and that red onion, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let these cool down. Give these about a good 10 minutes or so off of the heat. And if you want to go ahead and go a little bit quicker, you can just grab a little container or something, put those right in, make sure it's not plastic so it doesn't melt, and put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes or so, and you are going to be ready to go. Alright, so our onions are done, and let me show you what these look like. There you go. So slightly caramelized, not burned. You get that lovely smell from that balsamic, the olive oil, salt, and pepper as well, and they're see-through. So now that I've gone ahead and taken them off the pan, I'm going to go ahead and put these in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, and then we will be able to go ahead and stuff these delicious dates with some feta cheese and the roasted pecan. Alright, you guys, I will see you in just a few moments to put these all together. See you in just a second. Alright, guys, so our sauteed onions now have cooled down completely, and let's go ahead and put these together. Same thing as before. I went ahead and took the pit out of all of these for the 6 dates here, and we're actually going to go ahead and start with the sauteed onion first. Here's why, and here's my tip of the day. For some reason, it stays a little bit easier on the bottom. It won't make it soggy or anything as long as you're keeping it refrigerated, and that way our feta cheese will go ahead and stay on the top with our 2 pistachios. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so now that I have the date that's cut and I took the pit out, I'm going to go ahead and use about a teaspoon's worth of the sauteed onion. Go ahead and squish it in there. There you go, so it's halfway filled. And now we'll go ahead and grab our feta cheese with a spoon here, and we're going to go ahead and crush that right down. And I definitely suggest doing this over a little bowl or a container so you don't get feta cheese everywhere. You can also press it down with your fingers as well. So that's what it should look like, and it really should stick on there pretty well. So, and the final step, I know, super easy, right? Go ahead and grab 2 pistachios, and these are just pre-roasted pistachios. And all you're going to do is put them on top. You can add a third one if you want, but I personally think this looks very cute. So I'll show you real quick here. And that's it. And that, by the way, don't forget, that's a vegetarian option. Alright, let me go ahead and show you how to make one more. So let's go ahead and grab one of the big dates here. There you go. And we'll go ahead and add our teaspoon of the roasted onion. Squish that right in. Whoops! Not all over the place. Next step, that's going to be our feta cheese. Go ahead and dump it right on top and squish. And if you have big pieces, that's alright. They'll still squish on there. And you can use your hand. And there you go. Super easy. Alright, you guys, and just like before, go ahead and grab 2 pistachios. And boom. There you go. Alright, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. I've got about 4 left, and I will show you what they look like in just a moment. Alright, see you in just a second. Alright, you guys, so here is the completed stuffed dates with our feta cheese and the sauteed red onion in the balsamic and olive oil, and the pistachios on top. So let me show you what this looks like. I went ahead and put the 3 pistachios on there just to make sure we used them all up. Now I did say 18 just because, well, let's face it, these are not all the same shape and size, so I just want to make sure I had a couple extra just in case. So I ended up having 2 left over, but I went ahead and ate them because why not? Snack time! So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. And there you go. Yeah. Super yummy. So now that these are done, and I'm excited about trying these out as well, but before I do that, let's go ahead and do our final round for our sweet option. And that's going to be a stuffed date with ricotta cheese, honey, and pecan. Alright, you guys, so let me go ahead and get the ingredients together, and I will show you how to put those together as well. And again, these are also very easy. Alright, you guys, see you in just a second. Alright, guys, and for our final grand finale here for our sweet option for stuffed dates, that's going to be, for the ingredients today, a 1/4 cup of just regular ricotta cheese, a nice handful of chopped pecans, and you don't have to chop them too much, a about that size. Next, it's going to be the same thing as we did before with our dates. Go ahead and cut these in half, take the pit out, and we'll definitely need 6 for these as well. And for our last 2 ingredients, that's going to be about a half teaspoon to taste really of cinnamon. And I'm going to go ahead and be using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey today. Well guys, this one is easier than the last one. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is break up my ricotta a little bit here. And let's go ahead and add that honey. And cinnamon. And now we mix. And make sure you mix this really well. And make sure to give this a taste too, to make sure you have enough cinnamon to taste. By the way, if you want to add just a touch more honey, do, but make sure to not add too much honey because otherwise it'll get really soupy. And actually, let me go change the spoon because, I just licked it, and I also need a smaller spoon, so I'm going to go ahead and use the same small spoon as I did before for the previous recipe, and that's just going to be like an espresso spoon or a teaspoon. Alright guys, so first things first, let's go ahead and grab one of the dates, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is grab a nice heaping teaspoon here. And I'm going to go ahead and slightly overfill this. And that's mostly because I want to make sure those pecan pieces stay on top. So that's what it should look like. There we go. And now, it's a little bit easier if you put it over the bowl and just start putting some pecans on top. Maybe not all over the counter. It's a theme here at the Minimum Wager's Kitchen, by the way. Alright, and I just give this a little squish, and those should stay right on there. And there you go. Just like that. It looks like a little date taco. Cute. Alright, let me go ahead and show you one more. And then I'll finish these off and show you what they look like. So I'll grab a date here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a bigger one just to show you that you can fill this up a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and fill this up. And just like that. And stick those right on for the pecans. And voila. Super easy. Alright guys, let me go ahead and finish the last 4 and I'll show you what they look like. See you in just a second. Alright guys, so our ricotta filled honey and pecan stuffed dates are now done. And these look really tasty. They do look like little tiny tacos, which I think is cute, but hey. So there you go. I'll show you real quick what they look like. And plated. Oh. I mean, super easy. It literally took me like maybe 5 minutes to do these. Super, super simple. Alright, you guys. I cannot wait to try all these stuffed dates. So let me go ahead and plate everything, and I will be right back to taste these together with you. See you in just a second. I'm excited. Yum! Yay! Oh my gosh, you guys. I cannot wait to try all these. These look so good. Oh my gosh. And here's some ideas for plating for you. You can definitely serve this with some cold cuts, like some copa. Use the rest of that prosciutto as well. You can also use some fancy salami, or, some other kind of cold cuts you have available. And I went ahead and just did some Castelvetrano olives because these are delicious with our delicious dates for today. And you can also add a couple of the extra dates you have. Just make sure you take the pit out, or at least let people know. And then you can also serve it with a little bread or whatnot. So literally this could be like a charcuterie board. Just add some bread to it or some crackers and you're set to go. I mean, it can't get simpler than this, and this really took no time at all. Alright you guys, I am excited to try these out, so let's go ahead and try these together. Yay! Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the first one here. That one was the goat cheese with walnut and prosciutto. And actually, let me go ahead and grab a big one here. What am I doing? Grab the big one. Alright you guys, so let's go ahead and try this out. And this one is the goat cheese, walnuts, and prosciutto stuffed date. Alright, let's give this a go. Yum! Yum. It's like a meal on its own, pretty much. I feel like there's almost everything in there. Wow. Let's get another bite off of this, shall we? Guys, this is delicious. You got that nice sweetness from that date, and it's not overkill sweetness. With the goat cheese after, that prosciutto, get that nice salty and savory flavor from that prosciutto as well. And then, to complete it all off, that nice crunch texture and nutty flavor from the walnut. My gosh, these are one of my favorites. I've been making these for quite some time, but it's always nice to revisit these, and I'm gonna eat the rest because, well, why not? So good. Alright you guys, so for the second savory option, this one is the vegetarian one. Do remember, all of these do have cheese, of course. So for a vegetarian option, this one is with the feta cheese, the pistachios, and those sauteed red onions, and the balsamic, and the olive oil. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. And these should be quite delicious as well. Delicious, but I seem to have lost a pistachio. That's okay. Well, let's go avert this disaster and just steal a pistachio from another one. Go ahead and give this another taste, shall we? Whoa, that is super tasty. Super good. Now, mind you, this is the first time I've made this recipe with the red onion and added the balsamic as well for this recipe. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy about it. Really rounds out that flavor. Oh my gosh, especially too with that pistachio on top. It's so nice to have these different textures on there, but they're also not overwhelming. Including to the ingredients, especially too, if you're gonna have something totally different and fancy like this, you don't want to overwhelm the palate and just be like, oh! So these came out delicious. The balsamic really made a huge improvement on the flavor for the onions, and as well with that feta cheese and the pistachio, man, everything really complements well on that one. That one is quite delicious, and honestly, there's more of a sweet and savory side to that one as well. So definitely try that one out and let me know what you think in the comments. Now, let's go ahead and go to our delicious ricotta cheese with honey and a little bit of that cinnamon and pecans. This one, I'm extremely excited to try it out because, well, kind of a new recipe for me. I've made this before, but I did add a little bit more honey. This time I've gone ahead and added a little bit of the cinnamon because I wanted to see how it would complement the pecans, the crunchiness, and as well the flavor with the date. See if it kind of accentuates or heightens the flavor per se. Alright you guys, let's go ahead and try this out, shall we? Mmm. That is awesome! That cinnamon really made a huge difference. Not only that, I added a little bit extra honey from my original recipe, and I have to say that really helped that flavor for the dates. The dates aren't as sweet, but it really just gives it way more flavor, way more depth too. And you know what? That was a really good dessert. I'm having another one. Oh my goodness, these are so good. I'm having the second one here. Mm. Mm. Wow. Incredible. And gone. Oh my gosh, you guys, those were so good and so easy to make and so well worth it. Like practically my lunch right there. And I have to say, like, really easy to put together. I mean, no time at all. Just pop them in the fridge afterwards and make sure you use them within 2 or 3 days. That way they don't get soggy or anything like that. Also too, that cheese will start drying out, so you definitely want to make sure to just eat them up within 3 days. I don't think you'll have a problem with that though, but I might be having a problem just eating all of these. So, let me go ahead and put this down for a second. These were just excellent. So tasty, so easy, so delicious, and oh my gosh, like deliciously fancy and different. And I definitely suggest to make a little charcuterie board out of this, or a little charcuterie tray. Take it to a party and definitely like snack on these. These are delicious. And definitely let me know what you think in the comments as well if you get to try these out. And if you come up with new different recipes for these, also leave me a comment. I would love to hear what you come up with. Well, you guys, I had such a great time making these very easy, delicious, tasty, different, and fancy stuffed dates for you today. Especially too, it was nice to show you how to make 2 different savory and a sweet option as well. These are such great treats to share with friends and family, and if you do make these, definitely leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Well, you guys, I had a great time making these delicious, very easy, fun, and different and fancy stuffed dates for you today. 3 different kinds, that is. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next Minimum Wager's Kitchen. See you next Saturday. Bye. Ooh, which one should I have? All of them. They're so good. I think I'm gonna have another one. They're all my favorites. All of them. So good. Okay, I'm putting this down, and I have to walk away from the plate.